In this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, I sit down with Sanchez from Sandwich Bag Games to talk all about Gosh Darn Bubbles. Then we'll see what's on Kickstarter, but first, a word about our sponsors. This episode is powered by Gosh Darn Bubbles from Sandwich Bag Games, which is simple to learn and play, fast and fun. So much fun, in fact, that Michael Wright, who is an unfiltered gamer, went out and got a bubble machine. So run on over and check out their Kickstarter, which we'll have a link in the show notes, or just head on over to sandwichbaggames.com, look for an interview with them, and if you're listening after that, go back and listen. Plus, be on the lookout for a giveaway over at thegiveawaygeek.com. And if you want some super fast, simple fun, make sure you back Gosh Darn Bubbles on Kickstarter before Thursday, the 20th of June. I love it when a good game hits the floor running on Kickstarter, such is the case with this game. This episode is proudly powered by Bard Games and Fickle, a fairy board game featuring the art of Amy Brown. Fickle is a quick set collection game with unique scoring and press your luck mechanics, customizable gameplay, and gorgeous art. You have 5 rounds to win the Ritual of Ascendancy with your fellow players by manipulating their fairy cards. Choose a fairy family to gain its power and add it to your scoring alliance. The winner must gather a single fairy from each family or shoot the moon to win with a single faction. It sounds like an awesome game, and the art as well is spectacular. Want to know more? Well, go give my interview with the designer a quick listen. In my interview entitled, Are You Fickle? You Might Be a Fairy. Then after that, make sure you go and enter their giveaway we're doing with them over at thegiveawaygeek.com, in which one winner will receive Sherlock Holmes, The Vanishing Man, Pocket General World War II, and a playmat featuring Fickle art. The prize is valued at approximately 100 USD. Most importantly though, make sure you check out their Kickstarter for Fickle that reached its funding goal in only 12 hours, and then back it before Tuesday the 18th of June.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. Today we have the pleasure of learning about a new game like usual. This one doesn't necessarily have a story, or maybe it does, but if you follow one of my favorite YouTubers, the Unfiltered Gamer, recently he got a bubble machine, and so I thought this would be most appropriate, as we have the creator mastermind for the new game on Kickstarter called Gosh Darn Bubbles. Is that right, Sanchez? Is that how... Is that right? Sorry, give me one sec. So today we have on the creator mastermind behind a game that possibly inspired him to get his bubble machine, Gosh Darn Bubbles. Is that right, Sanchez? Are you the creator mastermind behind Gosh Darn Bubbles?
Yes, I am. That's perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Now, before we get into your game and bubbles and everything, let's rewind a little bit if we could. How did you get into playing tabletop board games and whatnot, Sanchez?
Well, I think like a lot of people did, I got started with Magic the Gathering back in middle school. And after that, I started playing a little bit of HeroClix, which was my first venture into a strategy figure game. And later in life, I just started having a bunch of game nights with my friends, playing a bunch of different card games and board games. And currently, I'm running a campaign of Gloomhaven with some of my friends, which is an amazing game as well.
Oh boy, awesome. Yeah, we're hoping to get to that table sometime. It's on our shelf of opportunity. Do you like it?
Oh yeah, I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's we're doing a 5-person campaign, and sometimes it's tough to get everybody together, but when we do get together, it's really fun.
Awesome. Now, something that seems like it might be on a completely different genre and even like heaviness level is Gosh Darn Bubbles. What can you tell us about that game?
Yeah, Gosh Darn Bubbles is kind of the exact opposite of Gloomhaven. It's a lot simpler, strictly a card game, and it's a lot faster to play. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes per player, and currently the game is designed for 2 to 4 players.
Okay, awesome. And you got, according to the Kickstarter, you got 12 artists to submit art or collaborate together. How'd that go down?
That was a lot of work, but the end result is wonderful. I just went online, looked up a bunch of different artist portfolio websites. A lot of them I found on deviantart.com. Just found some artwork that I liked, talked to them, tried to make sure it was within the same kind of general art direction I wanted the entire game to follow, and contacted them. And they're from all around the world as well, which was kind of fun to work with.
Awesome. And was there the need of 12 different artists, or why that exact number?
There was not a need for 12 artists. I originally planned to have one artist work on the entire game. But in the early development phases, I thought, it might be kind of cool to have a bunch of different art styles for players to look at while they're playing Gosh Darn Bubbles. So I went in that direction. And it's a little more complicated keeping up with 12 artists as opposed to one artist. But I think the end result was totally worth that extra effort.
Okay, awesome. So, what kind of game is it? Like, per se, me and you sat down to play Gosh Darn Bubbles. What's the game look like, and what's my turn gonna consist of?
So, it's an underwater themed game. The goal of the game is to be the first player to collect 3 treasures before anybody else. The way you collect treasure is by finding and playing sunken chest cards that are buried in the game deck. They ask you to perform a task, and if you perform the task successfully, you earn a treasure. But while performing that task, if Bubbles happens to come out of the deck, you do not gain a treasure. So Bubbles kind of ruin everything that you're trying to do. You want to stay away from those. And the rest of the cards in the game are all based on different marine animals that perform different actions that will either help you find sunken chests faster, or will mess with other players' cards in a sort of take that fashion. But there are lots of different animals involved. We have significant otters. That's the name of that card. We have a jerkface shark, selective seahorse, all drawn in very fun and cartoony art styles, which I think a lot of people will enjoy.
Okay, yeah, looking through your Kickstarter, the art looks pretty cool. So you say I'm completing different tasks, like I have to have so many cards of something to complete the task, or is it like a deck builder, or what kind of mechanics do they use?
The mechanic, well, I'll just go, the Sunken Chest specifically, which is the card that gets you treasures, the task it requires is that you discard the top 3 cards of the game deck, and if no bubbles are discarded, you earn 1 treasure. So you're just flipping the top 3 cards of the deck and hoping that no bubbles show up. But if bubbles do show up, you do not gain a treasure. So that's the primary mechanic of the game. The rest of them have to do with, getting extra cards in your hands, drawing from the deck, playing additional cards from the deck, stealing other players' hands, or passing your hand to somebody else if you don't like what's in your hand. So there's a lot of different things going on in the game. But I made sure that everything is very simply written on each card so that the actions are easy to understand and to perform.
Okay, that's always nice. And so I won't be spending forever scrolling over a rule book and then trying to set it up, and it will end up on my table for weeks on end like a lot of games do.
That's correct. Currently, the rules for the entire game can fit on the front and back of a single playing card. And in testing, and with some of the reviewers that had a chance to play an early copy of the game, they had success playing the game with children as young as 8 years old. But the game itself will be marked as 14 plus.
And you talk of reviewers. Who reviewed it?
We had 8 different reviewers review the game. We had Dyson Dragons review it. We had Board Game Quest did a review. Bored to Death, Game Boy Geek, One Board Family, The Dice Tower, Everything Board Games, and Unfiltered Gamer.
And did they all get, or did they all have bubble machines, or just Michael? The Unfiltered Gamer.
Just Michael, Unfiltered Gamer. I actually was the one who inspired him to get the machine. He let me know that he was going to get that for my video, and I was very happy about that he was going to have a fun time making the video.
Well, I like it. Unfortunately, I haven't watched your video, but I've seen it come out on a couple of his live streams, I think.
Yes, so I have a video that I posted on the Kickstarter itself. It starts with a brief tutorial of how to play the game, and then there is an interview of myself that was directed by one of the artists of the game, Susie Sahim. She's also my friend in real life, and she helped me out with that video.
Oh, cool. On the top. Yeah, I see. Okay, so awesome. So that's pretty cool. And then you can go over that. And maybe they're dying to ask, if they didn't watch that video, hopefully they'll watch it. But if they didn't watch that video, they ask a very important question. And maybe the answer has changed since then. But what did you have for breakfast, Sanchez?
Yeah, this morning I had eggs.
Oh, okay, so a little different.
Yeah, a little different. I still had the Nature's Valley bar, though. I just had some eggs on top of it. Not literally on top of it, but right afterward.
So that's cool. So we sat down to play the game and stuff, and so mainly you're just trying not to get the bubbles during the turn. And after you get 3 of those, so if the deck was shuffled correctly and quick enough or whatnot, I could hurry and get those treasures quick, or are there a lot of bubbles throughout the deck as well?
So yes, depending on how the deck is shuffled, it can be a shorter or longer game. But I worked with percentages to make sure that things don't take too long. The deck is 20% sunken chests, 20% bubbles, 20% cards that let you play other cards from the deck, and 40% random other actions that I thought would be fun to have in the game.
And so I'm just trying to understand a little bit better. So I go ahead and I play a sunken chest, and then I'm flipping those other cards over. When do I get to play other actions like that? Take that mechanic cards and other cards from my deck, or do I have a deck, or do I have a hand that I'm working with as well?
So there's a shared deck, a shared game deck that everybody plays cards from and pulls cards from when it's their turn to draw, and each player has a hand of 3 cards that you are not to let other people see, because you want your actions to be secret until it's your turn. As far as take back mechanic goes, or take that mechanics, we have Jerkface Shark, which lets you discard 1 card placed in front of any player. And when you collect treasures, they're placed in front of you. So the Jerkface Shark helps you get rid of other people's treasure to help you have a chance of winning the game. We have Fair Winds, which features a flying fish on the artwork. That forces each player to pass their hand 1 player clockwise. So if you don't like your hand, if it's a handful of bubbles, you just play that card to get rid of it and pass it on to somebody else. There's also another fun one. It's called Another One, featuring a walrus. You place it in front of any player, and it requires that player to have 4 treasures to win the game instead of the normal 3 treasures to win the game. So there's a lot of fun things you could do to mess with other players in the game.
So they have all those different things out in front of them that say what happens to them. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, you can mess with each other. That's good because, yeah, here in our family, we don't necessarily care for the co-op, so we're more of a take that family anyway. So that sounds pretty cool. And so somebody goes ahead and backs it so that you don't overpromise and underdeliver. When would they anticipate getting Gosh Darn Bubbles so they can start trying to earn that treasure themselves?
We're anticipating receiving and having it shipped out to backers by January 2020. And that is a conservative estimate on time. It might happen a little bit sooner. I'm basing it off of the estimates that my printing company has given me. So I want to make sure that we're not guessing too early about when it will arrive, but I'm hoping it will arrive earlier than that.
Yeah, no, that's always good. Yeah, you don't want a bunch of frustrated backers on your hands. So that's good that you put a little bit of later date on that. So when it comes to Gosh Darn Bubbles, do we need a bubble machine?
It definitely helps. Watching Michael, an Unfiltered Gamer, using that bubble machine gave my friends lots of ideas of how we could incorporate bubbles into our games.
Cool. How's that? How can you go ahead and incorporate the bubble machine and whatnot?
My friends use the term punitive bubbles. So when you're in trouble, you get bubbled in the face. So we might end up buying a bubble gun to shoot each other in the face when bubbles come up on our turns, which should be a lot of fun.
Oh, there you go. Or you could even get the simple, I don't know, I think they still have them, but the simple little jar bubbles that you blow for kids or whatnot. You could do a lot of things cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. So that's cool. So when it comes to Gosh Darn Bubbles, what makes your game pop is one my audience should go check out right now on Kickstarter. And if they like what they see, back it today, Sanchez.
My friends, I have a age range of 30 plus with my friends group that I normally play games with, and we all love it. The take back in the game is one of the fun parts. Nothing is too devastating when it's done to a player. It's just I feel like a good amount of fun frustration, I guess I would call it, where everybody just kind of laughs when it happens. So this is kind of like a casual, good time sort of game to be playing. The other thing is the artwork. The artwork is very well done, very creative, stands out very much. You could definitely see each artist's style pop in their individual pieces that they made, and collectively it all kind of meshes into a single artistic direction, which is a really good thing to have in a game. You don't want things to be too one way or another, depending on, what's going on with the artwork.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Looking at the Kickstarter page, it's kind of hard for me to distinguish one artist from another, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and when you definitely start playing it, you'll start picking your favorite artist, and you'll start to distinguish who was drawing what. We also have each artist's names listed on the bottom of the card, so you could look up their portfolios if you find a favorite and want to learn more about them.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, and we'll make sure we leave all the links in the show notes, so anybody who wants to click on over, they can go ahead and check out the Kickstarter page and whatnot and back it. It looks like they have through the 20th of June to go ahead and get in on the fun of Gosh Darn Bubbles is what it looks like here.
That's correct.
Now, we don't want to keep you all day, so Mina's coming there to your hometown to stalk you, Sanchez. How would people go about keeping up with you and everything you have going on over there at Sandwich Bag Games?
The best way would be to visit our website, which is at sandwichbaggames.com. And we also have a Facebook page, which would be facebook.com/sandwichbaggames.
And we'll make sure we leave links in the show notes so they can go ahead and click on over. And speaking of keeping up with you, so somebody's listening later down on the road after the Kickstarter and everything, is there any secrets you can share with us of upcoming projects you might be working on after this?
I have another game in mind. I want to get more into a medium complexity game for my second project. Gosh Darn Bubbles is kind of a low simplicity level game, very easy to get into. I want to do something a little more medium bodied, but a majority of what I want to be doing after the current Kickstarter for Gosh Darn Bubbles is just getting Gosh Darn Bubbles out to people. After I ship everything off to our backers on Kickstarter, I'll be going to conventions and art festivals and things like that to get things out locally.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, that makes sense. Like with art festivals and stuff, seeing how you have 12 artists and stuff, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to stand out with a card game as opposed to what you would usually find at like an art and wine festival. Hopefully I'll stand out.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Quick question for you. How did you come up with Sandwich Bag Games? What's behind that?
So with a lot of my own games, before I put the games back into their game boxes, I store game pieces and cards and everything in individual sandwich bags. Makes it a little easier to keep things organized, and I thought that was clever enough to just run with it as a company name.
Awesome. And will we get a sandwich bag with our deck of cards as well?
I'm still working on that. The people who received promotional media copies of the game definitely received their copies in sandwich bags.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. So, yeah, you'll have to jump on over, check out the Kickstarter and follow along and if you like what you see. So maybe you can get it in a sandwich bag. And even if you don't get it in a sandwich bag, you can always go get those at the grocery store. But this way you can have an awesome game with some awesome art from the sounds of it.
Yes, thank you. I'm very proud of what myself and all of my artists have been able to come up with.
Definitely, as well you should be. And like I said, we don't want to keep you all day, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief with us today, Sanchez, to talk all about Gosh Darn Bubbles. That'll be on Kickstarter through the 20th of June.
All right, thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Wow, that was fun talking to him. Now I've got to get a bubble machine. But first, I want to get Gosh Darn Bubbles. If you feel like me, make sure you click on over to their Kickstarter via our show notes and back it today. Let's take a walk, not to the corner store, but to Kickstarter Corner.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaves computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leaves.
I'm a big fan of retro Nintendo games. I was quite glad to hear that one of our proud Kickstarter backers, Vespius Media, just launched Monstrosity Rampage, which gives me the feel of none other than the video game Rampage that I loved back in the day. Unlike the board game formerly known as Rampage, Monstrosity Rampage is a real-time co-op speed dice smash the city game that elevates your adrenaline levels to the maximum. It's even got an awesome narrative fight the evil genius Dr. Spotnik with your monster squad in this epic city-smashing game. Even though here in the Leaf household we prefer competitive games, I'm going to back it now, and you should too. If it's not up when you're first listening to this episode, make sure you check back later on in the episode show notes to enter a giveaway we're doing over at thegiveawaygeek.com with Vespius Media, or you can just go over there to thegiveawaygeek.com. I just found another miniatures game as well. Slightly 30 years ago, I thought these years would be more awesome than they are. We still don't have flying cars nor real hoverboards, but I still am a die-hard true and blue fan of Back to the Future. So, about 30 years in the future from now is Omnicore Protocol. If our world doesn't turn out like this come 30 years from now, I won't be as sad as the lack of Back to the Future tech has made me. Omnicore Protocol is an intra-apocalyptic squad-based arena combat miniatures game for 1 to 4 players with a third-party enemy that your opponent controls. There's 4 great factions to choose from. My favorite from the looks of it would have to be the one with a huge elephant named Jugger and Bob the Bear. Let's make this game a reality by backing it on Kickstarter before Thursday the 20th of June. Make sure you subscribe to the show so you don't miss the episode in which I sit down to chat about this awesome looking game. You've played card games. You've probably played Jenga, and you might have even played Twister. Well, Charmy Dreams the cat wanted to design a whole excitement experience. So they created and launched the Mouse Stones. Fight for the Great Color Stones, in which you grab stones and ambush friends. Winners can leave their opponents in tears by winning all precious stones. Do you remember the Purdy Fire Gems from Fire Tower that was on Kickstarter a while back ago? Well, this one has lots of colorful plastic stones, 200 to be exact. It'll light up your game table and gaming experience. I want a copy for the Leaf household, and I know you will too. So make sure you check out their Kickstarter campaign and then back it before Wednesday the 5th of June. The Qualic Report. Time is running out. The constant centuries of war and pollution have taken their toll on our home of Anthobray. Your people are counting on you to save them. Gather the resources you need, build your ship, and escape before it's too late. Only one civilization will survive, and the clock is ticking. Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me either, but this is a story of last days of Athelbray. Apocalypse. It's a strategy, resource gathering game where the planet falls to pieces beneath your feet, and the first to build a ship and escape wins. Had some tech issues with them, in which we're working to resolve so you can enjoy my interview with the creators. It takes what we love from No Escape the game and adds some more depth to it, in my opinion. Last Days of Anthobray brings together a myriad of familiar mechanics that collate into an exciting and unique gaming experience. With a modular board and 5 different civilizations to pick from, no game is ever the same. The game starts with a slow burn to help prepare your civilization for the perils ahead. Throughout the game, tiles are flipped and removed as Athelbray literally crumbles beneath your feet. Every 5 rounds, the danger increases as the world falls apart faster and faster, and the odds of tragedy befalling your scouts grows ever more likely. For 2 to 5 players ages 12 and up, 30 to 45 minutes per player. Be on the lookout over at thegiveawaygeek.com, as well as these show notes once it's up, for a giveaway they're running with us, and back the game. Last Days of Athelbray Apocalypse before the 29th of June, so you can be the first one off the planet of Athelbray once the apocalypse is going on. Did you catch my interview with Otherworld Games back on the 10th of May? You didn't? Well, go back and give it a listen. I'm excited about this game. Plus, there's a giveaway going on for it as well. It's easily accessed by clicking on over to GameReliefGo.com and searching for the episode entitled You've Shard Things, but Have You Ever Shard Slingers? It really sounds and looks like my kind of game. Go listen. We'll wait for you. What'd you think? Me too. Gotta love games like that. Shard Slingers is a push your luck card game and dice game where players match elemental dice to spells for their points and abilities. A push your luck dice and card game where players must master the 8 elements to emerge as the most skilled shard slinger. With 80 spells to choose from, it's a race to the finish, but the faster you cast, the more of a target you become for your opponents. Every roll decides the very magic that fills the battlefield, and every spell that's cast leaves residual energy that could be turned against you. Make sure you enter their giveaway straight on the episode show notes of our sit down or over at thegiveawaygeek.com. Then make sure you check out their game on Kickstarter and back it before Tuesday, the 11th of June. If you liked any of the games we talked about in today's episode, make sure you check out their Kickstarter campaigns to show them and us a little love. Backing them goes a long way. Plus, make sure to stay up to date on all the giveaways we're doing over at thegiveawaygeek.com. There will be at least 2 to 3 new giveaways going live over there next week. It's our least favorite time as well as yours. So until next episode, make sure you go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others in the geek fold by sharing our episodes with others, as well as keeping up with the giveaways we're doing over at thegiveawaygeek.com. Game Relief out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.